Since I've been in office, I've announced 23,000 new jobs, $8 billion in new investment, and we just getting started. More people working than ever before, and the next 4 years are going to be even better. We're going to win, win, win. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. Representative Smith.
Thank you, Charles. And Henry, if this is winning, I would hate to see what losing looks like to you.
The answer to economic growth and prosperity is low taxes and lower taxes. Mr. Smith.
Henry, there you go again. Misleading, essentially dishonest. That's exactly right. And it's mine now. It's mine tonight. Now, as you were governor, South Carolina has the worst health care outcomes, but we pay the most for it. That will not change if Henry continues to serve. It will change if I have the extraordinary privilege to serve as governor of our state, and we'll take ourselves forward and make for a healthier South Carolina.
Governor McMaster, what's the balance? How do you weigh the pros and cons?
We accept federal aid when we need it, when it's good for the people, and when it does not come with strings attached to it and regulations that will suffocate economic growth in South Carolina. And that's precisely what Obamacare, which is what Mr. Smith is talking about, would do. What he does not mention is what he does not mention is this. Our payment, our part of that after the first few years is $1 billion a year. Our part.
Please let the gentleman respond.
That's okay. Everybody's excited.
Let me follow up, Governor, because I want to make sure the numbers are right. My understanding was that the cost to South Carolina, had Medicaid expansion been accepted, would have been in the neighborhood of $600 million over a span of, I believe, 7 years.
That's not right.
And that the returns would be $11.2 billion.
You're wrong on the facts, and you're wrong for South Carolina. The fact is this. When we accept the Medicaid funds, I know in the first 3 years, there'll be zero revenue. Senators, House members, my colleagues, I won't have to ask you for a penny within the first 3 years. And what we're going to do is prepare for the future. At the most, it'll be 7 to 10% by the time we get 10 years from now. It is the most fiscally responsible thing to do. It delivers on an entire healthcare economy, 40,000 jobs.
There's an apparent budget surplus for this fiscal year in the neighborhood of $177 million is the number that sticks in my mind. Teachers are asking for a substantial part of that.
Well, my plan is not every time we get a surplus to hurry up and find some place to spend it. That's for sure, unlike Mr. Smith. And I do not believe that raising taxes is the answer. It never is the answer.
You know, we have a massive teaching crisis. Right now, nationwide, there's a report that came out that said South Carolina is the worst place in the country to be a teacher. And if it's that bad to be a teacher, it can't be good to be a student. And what I've heard, Henry, you say that is you're going to do nothing. That nothing will change when you're elected. You're not going to make a difference.
Well, of course, that's about 50% nonsense there. I didn't say that at all.
Well, it's 50%.
I've given you the answer. The rest was inaccurate.
After the recession, the percentage that public colleges received in money from the legislature dropped and really hasn't been restored to those pre-recession levels. The Senate Finance Chairman is sitting here in the front row. You're the governor. Obviously, you're the governor in 2019. What do you say to him? How do you convince him to have the legislature give more money to public colleges?
Hey, Hugh, let's give them more money.
Well, it hasn't worked so far. You've been in the job 2 years.
I've known Henry for a long time. I just think he's not right for our future. He might have been the governor of 50 years ago, but the fact is we need to move South Carolina forward.
Listen, I talk to these people all the time. They are happy I'm where I am. They want me to stay where they are because they know we are growing. There's not another state that can keep up with us if we do not raise taxes, if we get rid of regulations, and if we do the right things, and we don't become known for being a union state.